the beginning of chapter 11 requires a bit of introduction. This may be the most famous chapter in all of Yeshayah. Certainly, the church loves this chapter. It seems to predict the arrival of a Messiah. And in fact, that's the way we take it, is that it is predicting the arrival of Messiah, not just seems to. And it's a beautiful utopian image. Since people here have by and large read it, I'm not going to go through it sentence by sentence right now, but it's a description of basically 4 parts. Number 1, a righteous king who is going to judge people, and he will not be biased by what he sees and what he hears. He is going to judge based on reverence for God. Number 2, an age of peace. The wolf and the lamb and, the rest of the menagerie, all living together in peace. Number 3, monarchy restored. The Davidic line is going to be back, and it is going to be a banner for the nations. And number 4, the 4th part, the exiles will be gathered in. Everybody comes back like when we left Mitzrayim, like when we left Egypt, and you are going to have a massive celebration on that day, and that leads into chapter 12. Chapters 11 and 12 are a unit. So, the questions that we're going to have to look at when we read this chapter are, when is this era supposed to happen? What are you describing? Is this Chizkiyahu's time, or is this some future Mashiach? The role of the end of this section, the demonstration of gratitude to God, what's that about? But I want to start with a question, and I apologize, Alina, we did this a little bit in Shmuel already, but I told you then you were going to see it in Yeshayah too. The big question here, what does Utopia look like? We spend so much time in Chumash and in Tanakh being told, do this, and then things will be great. Whatever this is, whichever section, subsection of the 613 we're being told to do, if you do this, things are going to be great. But what does great look like? What is it that we're hoping for? What would you say? What characterizes a Jewish utopia? Peace. We like peace. Okay, that's definitely in the chapter.
Ingathering is very important, I think. Everybody should come to the big party.
Everybody returns home. Blessings. Okay. So the full presentation of this in Chumash appears, to my mind, in Devarim Perek Chavchet. It's when I brought you here in source number 7. I did not bring you a translation on the sheet. You have the Tanakh if you want to look at it with the English there, but I underlined key sections. This is, in Parashas Kisavo, right before the description of what will happen if we sin and stray from God. But first we're told what will happen if we listen. And it says, V'haya, it will be, Im shamawa tishma b'kol Hashem Elokecha. If you listen to the voice of Hashem your God, lishmor la'asos es kol mitzvosav asher nochi mitzavcha hayom, to follow all of His commandments that I give to you today. Unsamcha Hashem Elokecha elyon al kol goyei haaretz. You will be above all of the nations. Uvau alecha kol habrachos ha'ele b'hisigucha. You will get all sorts of blessings. Ki tishma b'kol Hashem Elokecha, when you listen to the voice of Hashem your God. And he goes on. Baruch atah ba'ir, baruch atah b'sadeh, baruch atah this, baruch atah that. Blessings in the city, blessing in the fields, your animals, the animals young, your own young, the fruits of your trees, everything is going to thrive. God will lay your enemies before you. They will be struck down before you. They're going to attack you from one direction. They're going to flee in 7 different directions. And then again, more blessings for your grain. When you guard the mitzvot of Hashem your God and you walk in His ways. Everybody will see God's name called upon you, and they will fear you. No more attacks. And then once again, Hashem will give you special blessings. When you listen to the mitzvot, fulfilling what I told you to do. There are 4 basic elements to this utopia. I'm not counting kibbutz galiyot in gathering of the exiles. It's not described in all of the utopias. And I don't think it's inherent, so to speak, in the idea. I think it's assumed that whatever blessings you get is for everybody. But take a look at what I underlined here. Number one, im shamoa tishma, piety. Your utopia requires that you obey the rules. That's step one. Number two, what I underlined at the end of that line, uvao alecha kol habrachot ha'eleh, prosperity. God is going to give you wonderful gifts. And again, that whole section is filled with all of these different blessings. Number three, Yitein Hashem es oivecha kamim alecha nigafim lefanecha, you will be secure. All your enemies, those who attack you will be driven off, and everybody else is going to be too afraid to attack you. You're safe. And then the last, V'ra'u kalamei haaretz kishem Hashem nikra alecha v'yar'u mimeka, international honor for the Torah that you represent. The name of God is recognized and revered. Those are your four components, and I believe that you can identify them in all the utopias mentioned in Tanakh. The first time that we actually achieve this in Tanakh is this shining moment in the 10th parak in Melachim Aleph in Kings 1, what I brought you in source number 8. Shlomo HaMelech takes the throne after David dies. Shlomo builds the Beis HaMikdash. We get a couple of chapters, the first of the construction, and then of the prayer that he offers and the dedication. And then after that, you get what I brought you in source number 8. When Shlomo finished building the house, then they did the dedication. I skipped the dedication. And then the Queen of Sheba shows up. You know what? It's worth it to see it in here with the English, because it'll make it much more clear. Take a look, please, at page 831. We'll do it that way. See it? The Queen of Sheba heard of Solomon's fame, that it was for the name of Hashem, and she came to test him with riddles. She arrived in Jerusalem with a very large entourage, camels, large amounts of spices and gold, precious stones. She comes to Shlomo. She speaks to him about everything she's thinking. Shlomo answers all of her questions. There's nothing he can't answer. She sees his wisdom. She sees the palace. She sees the food. She sees the servants and all the attendants, and she is overwhelmed. And she says, everything I heard about you is true. I never believed it, but it's all true. You're even greater than what I heard. Wow, your nation really is fortunate. Your servants are fortunate. And may Hashem be blessed who chose you and placed you upon the throne of Israel. She gives him gold. She gives him spices and precious stones like never before. In addition, we are told about the fleet of Hiram, king of Tsur, and all the wealth that they bring to Shlomo. We're now on page 833. He gives her whatever it was that she wanted, and then we're told all about Shlomo's wealth and everything that people are bringing to him. And he has this great throne, and he has drinking vessels made of gold, and for goodness sake, he has monkeys and peacocks. Everything you can imagine, he's got. He becomes greater than all the kings of the land in wealth and in wisdom, and he has chariots and horsemen, ... And then, of course, everything falls off a cliff because he marries the women from the different nations, and, goodbye monarchy. But, now go back to my sheet and the parts that I underlined. What do you see? First, Shlomo finishes building the Beis HaMikdash, the temple. This is a period of piety, of righteousness. Second, lo haya ba'od ruach, v'tomer el hamelech emes haya hadavar. Everything I heard is true about your words, about your wisdom. And she continues in the next part I underlined, Yehi Hashem Elokecha Baruch. May your God be blessed. Right? That's the reverence for Hashem and for Torah. And of course here you see the great wealth. And you see all the nations that I underlined at the end are seeking to hear the wisdom of Shlomo, and they bring all of their gifts, and clearly they are not fighting with Shlomo, just the opposite. One of the items they bring, interestingly, is called neshek, which we, of course, use to refer to ammunition. They're bringing him weapons. This is the first realization of what was promised in Parashas Kisavo. The first time that you see a utopia. What does utopia look like? We follow the Torah. We are prosperous and safe. And there is reverence for God and for the Torah that we represent. There are partial utopias that are achieved at different times in Tanakh. In Shmuel, Perek Zayin, chapter 7, when we get the Aron back and we do tshuva, so you get some of these elements. There is piety, and there is security, and there is prosperity. What there is not is international honor for Hashem and the Torah, perhaps because you don't have a Beis HaMikdash yet. There's no temple, so that may be why not. Chizkiyahu is going to have a partial utopia as well, as described in Divrei Hayamim Bet, chapter 32, after Sancherev is beaten back. But we're not going to go there right now. The last piece that I wanted to show you, though, we're going to see it here. We're going to see all of these elements figure into Yeshayah Perek Yud Aleph. We're not going to show them to you right now because we have like 3 minutes. But you're going to see it play out in the chapter. But I did want to show you source number 9 because I think the Rambam was drawing on this when he wrote source number 9, in which you get his description of what the time of Mashiach looks like. He says, "U'ba'oso azman," and at that time there will be neither famine nor war, neither kin'ah nor competition. Kin'ah does not mean jealousy. That's why I didn't translate it, because people render it as jealousy. But kin'ah usually means some form of outrage and indignation, which may be based on jealousy, but it doesn't have to be based on jealousy. But you get the picture here. There is no war. That's number 1. Number 2, benefit will flow greatly and all delicacies will be as common as dust. There is your prosperity. The world will only pursue knowledge of God. There is your reverence for Hashem and for Torah, and therefore all Israel will be great sages, knowing that which is hidden, comprehending the Creator as much as humans can, as is written, for the world will be full of knowledge of God like water covers the sea, and this obviously is the image of piety. So that's what Tanakh is envisioning as the end game. This is what we are looking for. Those 4 components is what it's all about. The Rambam, again, I think is building off of what's seen in Kitavo, as well as what we're going to see here in our Perek. Because all 4 of those elements are going to play out here in our chapter. So what I want to do next time is an awful lot, because I really would like next time to actually wrap up Prakim Yud Aleph and Yud Bet, and I may be dreaming. I know that. But if we can, that actually wraps the unit. Just like the first 6 chapters were a unit, chapters 7 to 12 are a unit, and then everything is very different and moves much faster, starting in chapter 13. So we'll see. God willing, next week.